Hey guys, Chris Honeycutt here with some more Thursday Thoughts. On this week's episode, we're talking about teamwork. Did you ever hear the phrase, there's no I in team? Well, I did a lot growing up, playing sports, and the smart aleck Chris back then would often reply with, but there is an M-E, as in me. And you know what? That's not a good attitude to have. But unfortunately, most of us go through life not being a team player, not in the way that we should anyways. My mentor John Maxwell once said, "One is too small a number to achieve greatness." He also said, "If you think you're the entire picture, you'll never see the big picture. When you see the big picture correctly, you serve the team more quickly." And so this term, serve the team, is very key here. Because a lot of times we don't even get to the serve part. We kind of keep to ourselves, we do our own thing, we have maybe our responsibilities and we stick to that, but we never serve. To serve means you are going beyond yourself. You're helping meet the needs of other people. And so many of us get in our minds that the term serve means we are subservient, as in we are lesser class. But really, if you think about it, think of all the great leaders over time, at least the ones that I admire, people like Jesus. Jesus was a servant leader. We talked about that a few weeks back here on this podcast. But you know what? To be a servant means you are being a team player. You are also adding value. Just by you being on the team, you're a valuable piece. Think of it like in sports. By you being on the team, is the team worse or better? And I always thought I was bettering the team, whether I was in fact or not. But think of maybe Michael Jordan. You know what? Sometimes Michael Jordan didn't get to be the star player. Sometimes he had to be a team player. Sometimes he had to pass the ball. Sometimes he had to not take the shot. If we're to do anything well in life, there are going to be moments where we're not the star player, and we got to be okay with that. So what does it mean to add value? It means to contribute above expectations and intentionally invest in others. Ecclesiastes 4 says this, "Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Also, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken." There's more than one, more than two, but actually 3 involved in this process. I've done many weddings, and in a lot of these wedding ceremonies, I go on to explain that third strand in the cord is the Holy Spirit, bringing man and wife together and shaping them, molding them into Christ-likeness, but also protecting them and girding them with the truth, girding them with a firm foundation of strength and joy and peace. So this is where the same is true about teamwork. If it's just you, that's not a strong team. If it's you and just one other person, that's still not a very strong team. You have to have a third party involved. You have someone else to reinforce exactly what you're trying to accomplish. So I want to encourage you right now to do some introspection. In whatever environment you're in, whether that's a business, whether that's a church, whether that's just you in your workplace, what does a team look like for you? And sometimes we have to encourage ourselves knowing that there's more people involved than we're willing to give them credit for. But sometimes we don't have the right team. Do we need to build that team? Do we need to do some recruiting? Do we need to actually look and see who is available, who's around us? You know what? I pastor a church here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and in our church, we're always needing more volunteers. We call them serve team members. And that is where a lot of times we need more workers in our nursery and toddlers. We need more greeters. We need more everybody. In both healthy and unhealthy organizations, you're always going to need more people. You're always going to need more team members. And so you always have to be recruiting. You can't just recruit when you need people. You need to get ahead of it. Start recruiting, start developing people now. But I want to encourage maybe the solo entrepreneur out there. Who is it that you can be talking to? Who you can bring on as a partner? Someone that is in the room with you, that is a soundboard, but also that you can delegate certain responsibilities to. This is where, guys, in any situation, most any environment, you cannot operate as a lone wolf. You cannot operate as someone that's doing everything. That goes back to the law of the lid. That goes back to scaling. You can't sustain that. You have to build a team. This is why teamwork is so crucial in our leadership development. You're not a leader if you're by yourself. Look around you. If you don't see the people that can be on your team, go find them. Go outside of your four walls. Be a little bit uncomfortable. Go beyond what your expectations are. Go beyond what you're comfortable with and find people that should be on your team. People with different giftings, different experiences. And let me address one other aspect of this. A lot of us will defend ourselves and our lack of teamwork by saying we're introverts. I've known a lot of introverted leaders that are still great leaders, and they can still relate to people. Maybe they're not going out to parties, and maybe they're not going out to after-hours functions, or maybe they are not the ones to ask you to lunch, but they are leading people, and they are developing people. Don't use your introverted nature as an excuse not to be a team player. And for the extroverts out there, try and understand that not everybody is an extrovert themselves. You need to find whatever rhythm that they're in and match that, and maybe encourage them to try something new. So I end with these quotes from John Maxwell. They're very crucial in our understanding the value of teamwork, the value of being a team player, the value of adding value to others. John Maxwell once said this: teamwork makes the dream work, but a vision becomes a nightmare when the leader has a big dream and a bad team. That's why it's crucial to develop your team, not just recruit your team, but you're casting vision to your team. You're encouraging your team. You're checking in with them, and you're finding what is going on in their life. You're keeping tabs on them in good ways, and you're trying to push them to their potential. You know, John Maxwell also said this: teams make you better than you are. They multiply your value. They enable you to do what you do best. They allow you to help others do their best. They give you more time. They provide you with companionship. They help you fulfill the desires of your heart and compound your vision and effort. This is where you need to ask yourself, am I casting vision to my team? And if you don't have a team, you're casting vision where really you're just talking to yourself, and you probably sound a little crazy. Recruit a team, develop a team, and then go with that team to new places. Don't just settle, don't just stay in the comfort zone, but go and try new things to go into new territories, places you've never been. You become a better leader, a good leader, a great leader maybe. And this is where you're also developing other people to be great leaders themselves. That's it for Thursday Thoughts. Have a great day.